Hey guys, what's up? It's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. Sorry about the hair. It's crazy today. Okay. All right, let me get the Facebook group going too. And then we're going to talk about, hey Michael, what's up? We're going to talk about how to change our thinking. We're going to do it together because I didn't know how to do it either, and I've learned over time, so practice makes perfect, right? So, how's everybody doing this evening? I hope you guys are all having a wonderful, wonderful weekend, beginning to the weekend, TGIF, baby, Friday. Now, what I want to do really quickly, hold on a second. So on Fridays, what I do is I hold a MARA meeting, which is Medically Assisted Recovery Anonymous. And okay, so I'm going to we're going to read the format because I want to make sure I do that at the beginning. So that way, those of you who, have never came to one of these, you'll understand what it's all about, okay? And then we can get to the topic. Okay. Hey Gunny, what's up? How's everybody doing? Welcome to everyone that's new. Welcome to everybody that's not new. I'm so glad you guys are here. I'm actually trying to pull up the format real fast and then we're going to get to it, okay, guys? So just introduce each other, introduce yourselves, and talk to each other for just a second while I get this, okay? Oh. There we go. Here we go. Oh, I bet you. I'm new. What city are you in? I'm from Austin, Texas. Hey, buddy. I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas. So, welcome. I'm so glad you made it, man. Okay, I will. Hold on, I gotta read this. Okay, so let's do this, you guys. All right. So, Medication Assisted Recovery Anonymous. One size does not fit all. Do you use medications such as methadone, naltrexone, Suboxone, buprenorphine, Camprol, Paxil, Novoprofen, bupropion, which is Wellbutrin, gabapentin, etc., Topamax, etc., that is prescribed and approved by the medical community to treat various drug and alcohol use disorders? Many addicts and alcoholics that are utilizing evidence-based science to aid in their recovery sometimes feel unwelcome. Here at Medication Assisted Recovery Anonymous, aka MARA, you are always welcome. Recovery is simply to recover from an unsafe lifestyle. Which I love that. I love that. That's exactly. Okay. So normally what I would do is I'd say, welcome everybody to the Friday night MARA meeting. My name is Nicole and I am an addict. My recovery date is 7/13/2015, and I do utilize medically assisted treatment. I am currently on Suboxone. I have tapered down from 12 milligrams down to 6 milligrams, and I'm actually still working with my doctor to taper lower. And the lower I get, the better, the more I think I might just get down to like 2 or 1 milligrams and pause right there and kind of just chill and see how I feel after that. But the great thing about Medically Assisted Recovery Anonymous is that They support me no matter what I decide. If I decide to stay on medication assisted treatment, they support me. If I decide to get off of it, they support me. Everybody is welcome at Medically Assisted Recovery Anonymous. And it's no judgment. You know, recovery is simply to just recover and simply to recover from an unsafe lifestyle, you know? And that's the thing, you guys. Like, we don't want any judgment. We want to stay focused on the solution, you know. We could sit here all day long and we could, hey, Adam, thanks, baby. You don't have to do that, but I really do appreciate it. We could sit here and we could all, like, compare war stories and talk about what drugs we did. And, you know, there's a time and place for that always here on my channel. There's days where I'll sit here and I will do, you know, story times and we will laugh and just kiki. I just actually got done doing an hour-long video, you guys, of just the story times from my past. And but tonight what I want us to do is I want us to focus on the recovery tonight. I want to talk about, you know, what I did to change my thinking and what I do and practice still to this day. So, okay, when I first came into recovery, okay, I'm talking 10 years ago when I first started trying to get sober, right? I started going to meetings and trying to work the 12 steps, all right? And for me, I struggled. I would get to a certain point and then I would relapse, right? I would get a couple months under my belt and then I would fall back. And now when I look back on my experience, I see where I was wrong. I see where I was making mistakes. Hey, Krissy. Hey, Michelle. I see where I was making mistakes, you guys. Let me see. Okay. So it's really important when you're getting sober and you're getting into recovery to change your people, places, and things. Okay. I know you guys have probably heard this a million times. People, places, and things, right? Well, I guess because I was so stubborn, I thought that I could not change people, places, and things and still get sober and stay sober. So for about 10 years, I would come in and out of the program trying to hang on to these old people, places, and things, right? Hold on, let me go on. I was a glutton for punishment, okay? I seriously could not let go of my old friends. I couldn't let go of the old things that I used to do, the bars, the parties, the guys, you know, because all that stuff goes along with, you know, active addiction. The behaviors, I was holding on to them, like I said, because I was a glutton for punishment. And I made it really hard on myself. And now when I look back on it, I don't think I was ready. You know, I feel like what has happened to me in the last 4 years, having my son really changed my life. It catapulted me into a situation where it wasn't just about me anymore. It wasn't just about my selfish ways. It wasn't about what I could do to get what I needed, right? Hey, Misty. It catapulted me because I had to change, because I needed to change for my son. Do you know what I'm saying? I was told to stay away from old friends with habits you want to break. And so what will happen is, that's right, Adam, because here's the thing, you guys. When I want to give you an analogy, okay? So, you know when you're out swimming, okay, and you're a little kid, and you see somebody out in the deep end, and they're treading water, and they start drowning, okay? They're treading, and they're going down, and then they're coming back up, and they're going down. And you're not that strong of a swimmer, but you jump in to try and help them. And you just jump in and you swim over to them, and you grab them, and you try to pull them and get them to the shallow end, right? And what that person starts to do is they start to grab onto you and push you down. Grab onto you, push you down. And you're not that strong of a swimmer, right? So you start drowning, and they're pushing themselves up on you to stay above the water. that's what it's like when we're trying to get sober. We don't know how to stay sober. So if we're going out there into the deep end after our friends who are still getting high and drunk, right? What's going to happen? We're going to end up getting high and drunk with them because we're not strong enough to go out there and pull them out of that deep water. All right? I cannot tell you how many times it took me to learn that I couldn't go out there to the deep end anymore. I know a lot of you guys are like this too. A lot of us addicts are like this. Like, I just really care about people so much. I get very emotionally involved. I get invested. And even when I was getting high, like the people I got high with, we were like always together. You know, these were people that I spent like my whole life with, just hours and hours and hours. These were people that, you know, they would sleep over at my house for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I would sleep on their couches for weeks and weeks and weeks. I mean, I had friends that were such good friends to me in active addiction that they would let me live at their house and I had no money, or they would pay my car payment and I had no money. You know, these are people that I really, really cared about. And I thought, you know, I thought that I could help them. I thought that I could save them. And part of my recovery process was realizing that I can't save anybody, and I barely know how to save myself. I barely know how to save myself, you guys. And I'm telling you right now, like, even after these 4 years of my sobriety, right, I can still come on here and tell you guys, like, everything that I share with you is just my experience. Like, what works for me might not work for someone else. If you're struggling and you've tried all the things that I say, hey, try this, hey, try that, hey, try this, hey, try that, and it's not working for you, like, I want you to go and get another opinion. I want you to reach out to somebody else. I want you to keep on trying, because, like, I don't know everything, right? But I do know one thing. I know that if you want to get sober, and you reach out for help, and you keep on reaching out for help, you don't give up on yourself, I know that eventually you're going to get it. Because that's how it happened for me. You know how it was like I kept on throwing one of them sticky balls at the wall, and it kept falling. And I kept on throwing it, and eventually it stuck, okay? And that's kind of how it is with recovery. It's like I had to, like, get to a point where the things started sticking, and the words started making sense, and I started actually wanting to stay sober, you know? And when you're young and you're starting out like that, Adam, like, I wish I was probably like 24 when I started trying to go into meetings, but I never stayed. Now I'm 37. I got sober at about 32 and a half. And I was ready to get my life together, you know? I can't say at 21 I would have been ready. So, I know I wouldn't have been ready. I wasn't ready. At 20, I was just getting into the prime of my life, right? I was just getting into the heyday of my addiction. Whew, Lord help me. So, let's talk about changing the way we think, okay? So, for a long time, I would hear people talk about positive affirmations. I would hear people talking about changing their perception. I would hear people talk about looking at the glass like it was halfway full instead of halfway empty. And I would think they are full of shit. They're full of shit. That bullshit, that don't work, right? And I was a skeptic. I was a skeptic for many, many years, okay? I'm telling you guys something right now. Changing the way I think, changing my attitude, and being grateful for the littlest things that I have has changed my life forever. Okay? Please listen to me when I tell you guys this, okay? In the morning time when I wake up, all right, I could be having the worst day. I could be feeling like dog shit. I could not want to get out of the bed. It could be the first day of my period, and I could be cramping so bad and bleeding everywhere, right? And I'm not happy. I'm miserable at that time. And I can wake up, and I make myself get up. I make myself get up and look in the mirror or look out the window, right? and I say, I'm grateful to be alive. I make the words come out of my mouth, right? I practice being grateful for having a roof over my head, because there was a time when I didn't have nowhere to live, when I didn't have a roof over my head, where I was sleeping on people's couches, where I was sleeping out on the streets behind the Target, where I was sleeping by the green dumpster. Okay? I truly believe that if you can take your lowest moment and compare it to a moment now that you're having in your life where you're like, today I have a home compared to when I used to have to sleep in other people's houses. Okay? Today I have running water opposed to when I used to have to go outside and dig a hole to take a shit in. Okay? Today I wake up and I'm not miserable in withdrawal. Okay? Compared to the days when I used to wake up and I would want to commit suicide. I wanted to die. I wanted to take my own life. All right? Just changing my thinking in that form, just focusing on the things that I have to be grateful for. This is just the smallest little thing you can do to change your thinking and change your life. Okay, they talk about it in AA and NA. They talk about gratitude lists and like looking at things from a different point of view and trying to change your perception, right? They talk about all that stuff in AA. But this is like for sure working, okay? I'm telling you guys. I was totally okay. I would go into meetings and I would hear people share about being sober and happy, okay? I would hear people that had 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 10 years, 20 years, 15 years sober, and they would talk about how they were happy and how they felt passion and purpose in their life, right? And I was so far away from having those kind of feelings. I was just like, how do they even feel like that? They must be faking it. It must all be an act, right? That's really what I thought. I thought they must just be saying that to get people in the door. I'm telling you guys right now, it's not an act, right? It's not an act. When you get sober and you start changing your life and changing on the inside, you're going to find the reason why you're here, right? And I feel like that's what has happened for me, is that I've found the reason why I'm here. I found my purpose and why I'm on this earth, right? And it's to help others. It's to give back what was given to me. It's to inspire people and help people get back on track, right? If you're in active addiction right now and you're like, well, Nicole, I don't have a lot to be grateful for, right? I hate my life. I don't love myself, right? And that's how you feel. That's truly how you feel in the inside, right? Listen to this. Can you think about this? Think about all the people that love and care about you. Think of all the people that are rooting for you, that want you to get sober, that want you to get your life together so that way you can be happy. They want that for you because they love you, because they want what's best for you. Okay? There's some people, you guys, that don't even have family, that don't have anything, that don't have nobody that cares about whether they live or die. All right? I'm telling you guys, like, it might seem like the world is caving in around you, right? But I'm telling you right now that anything can change. If you can just take a little bit of the effort that you put into drinking and getting fucked up, and you can put that into your recovery, I promise you your life will change. I promise. Let me read what y'all are saying. I always had the weed and beer. Was cool, not so much when you fall to addiction. Same here, Adam, and I thought I was so cool until all my friends started going to college, getting married, having kids. They stopped smoking. They stopped drinking. They got sober, and they all started going to college and getting lives. And here I was left behind, still smoking and drinking, still getting high. You know, those people now, they're lawyers, they're nurses, they're doctors. No matter what it could honestly be worse, even if it seems like it can't get worse. Absolutely. When I was young, it was very easy to make friends. Not so easy to keep them, but easy to meet people. Now it's so hard to meet anyone I truly connect to. It's really hard. You help so many people. I truly want to do what you're doing. Hey, Misty, love you, girl. When you relapse, it hurts. You let others down. Hey, Candy. But Adam, here's the thing. You can't focus on the other people that you're letting down. Think about this, okay? You're letting yourself down. Okay, so when we relapse, it's because we're struggling on the inside, all right? A lot of the times, what will happen is a relapse will start coming before we even realize it's coming. Okay, before we realize. But people around us, most likely they'll notice. They'll be like, what's going on with her? She's acting different, or she's really irritable lately. I wonder if she's okay. Or I haven't seen her at any meetings. Or what's going on with Nicole over there? She hasn't uploaded. I'm worried about her, right? A lot of the times it'll start processing before we even realize and before we ever pick up a drink or a drug. But you know what? Don't focus so much on the people that you're disappointing. Focus on the fact that you're letting yourself down. All right? This is life or death, okay? For a lot of us, for all of us, really, you guys might not think it's that serious, but let me tell you a story about a lady that I went to treatment with that was a drinker, okay? So in 2015, when I went to a rehab called, God, what was the name of that place? I always forget the name. It was Recovery Center of Arkansas, but it was another name. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I went to treatment this last time that I went because my son got taken from me, and I was like, oh, hell no, I'm going to go get help, right? Well, I went into treatment, and I'm not going to say the lady's name because I don't know, I just don't feel comfortable, but there was a beautiful, beautiful lady in there with me. She was my age. At that time, I was 32 and a half, and so she was about 32, and we were in treatment together, and they told her that she had to get sober because if she didn't get sober from alcohol, that she was going to die from cirrhosis of the liver. When I went into treatment with her eyes were as yellow as this, okay? Her skin was yellow. All the whites of her eyes were completely yellow, okay? Within that 30 days, her eyes turned white again, and she was getting better. Her liver was starting to work better, right? We got out of treatment, and I saw her at a couple of meetings, and I was like, girl, you're doing it. We're doing it. We're staying sober, right? Well, then I went back to the meeting about 2 weeks later. She wasn't there. And I was asking, where's so-and-so? Where's so-and-so? And that's when everybody sat me down, and they told me that she relapsed on alcohol. And she drank herself to death. She died. She died because her liver shut down. And she went into the hospital and she died. Hey, Angel. So a lot of the times, us alcoholics, we think, oh, well, we're just alcoholics. It's not that serious, right? It's not like those drug addicts over there. Those drug addicts, they got a serious problem. But us alcoholics, we got this. We're okay. I'm here to tell you guys that you can die from alcohol just like you can die from drug addiction. And it is the saddest thing to see because you literally die before people's eyes. It's a slow, miserable death. Hey, Tara. Are you? Oh, see, Adam, my husband also has a degree, and when he was in his active addiction, he couldn't find a job, and he has a master's degree, you guys, and that's what happens. Our addiction and our alcoholism will hold us back, right, from being able to do anything. It takes everything from you. So I just kind of wanted to share with you guys, like, alcoholism and addiction, like drug addiction and alcoholism, they're both killers. They're both killers. They don't only kill our bodies, but they kill our spirits. They kill our soul. They suck us dry, right? When I was in active addiction, you guys, I was partying and acting like a fool, but on the inside, deep inside of myself, I was so sad. I was so lonely. I didn't love myself. That's why I was slamming needles all over my body, because I didn't love myself, because I was miserable on the inside. So part of how I changed the way I thought was I started focusing on the things that I had to be grateful for today in my recovery, right? At the beginning of my recovery, it was kind of difficult to find things that I was grateful for because I was really, really struggling. I was struggling with resentments. I was struggling with fear. I was struggling with anger. Okay? I was very, very mad at myself for letting myself get to the point that I got to in my addiction. I resented myself. I resented others. I resented people that called DHS on me. I resented my husband for being out in the real world while I was in treatment. I resented my mother and father for moving to New York and abandoning me. Okay? Because that's what I felt like. I felt like, oh, they just left because they didn't want to be here to help me, right? It was just a lot of, like I said, anger, resentment, fear, insecurity, self-doubt. All these feelings would just pile up one on top of the other every single day. So at the beginning, I had to really sit down, and my sponsor would make me make lists. You're going to list 5 things you're grateful for today, right? You're going to list 10 things you're grateful for the day. And eventually what I had to start doing was I really had to start looking and saying, you know what? I'm grateful that I can breathe today. I'm grateful that, I'm not over here dying from smoking on cancer sticks, right? Because I used to smoke cigarettes all the time and be coughing my lungs out. Like, I had to start, really looking at my life and saying, you know what? There are so many things that I have to be grateful, but I just don't when you're in active addiction, you're not focused on what you have to be grateful for, right? All you're focused on is what you can get next, Me, I need more. Give me another hit, give me another drink. So, first step to changing the way you think is trying to shift your thinking from, I hate my life, it's terrible, to thinking about what you're grateful for, and try to make a list. If you wake up in the morning, you guys, try to make a list of at least 5 things that you have to be grateful for that day, okay? All right, second step. I had to stop talking down to myself, all right? I still struggle with this, all right? But I've gotten a lot better. I used to always talk down to myself. I'm talking like I wouldn't even give myself a chance to try to make it, right? Maybe I'd have a job interview. Before I even get the job or go to the interview, I'm not going to get it. There's no way. They're not going to hire me. I'm a felon, right? I have no job experience. My job experience is so broken up because of all the jobs I've lost because of my addiction, right? Or I would say, God, I'm so fat. God, I've gotten so ugly. I look so old. Why does this tooth stick out? I would pick myself apart, right? Look at these wrinkles in between my eyes. God, look, this little crooked tooth right here. I'm so embarrassed. I can't even open my mouth. I can't even show any, right? And I would pick myself apart, right? I would look at every single thing on me and point out how terrible it was, okay? And I started to believe that. Like, okay, I'm an ugly, fugly troll, right? First of all, no one is ugly, okay? Everyone is beautiful in their own way, right? Everybody. It doesn't matter what you look like. There's beauty in every person. It's not about the outer shell. It's about what's on the inside, right? I would rather be a fugly ass troll on the outside and be a freaking beautiful, strong, positive, empowering, passionate woman with a purpose on the inside. Do you know what I'm saying? And so I started having to stop talking to myself and stop telling myself how ugly I was and how fat I was and how my body wasn't perfect. I'm telling you what, you guys, social media doesn't help with that either. All right? Seeing yourself on camera all the time, it does not help, you guys. It does not help. Let me just tell you that. And especially when you have people who want to come on and like point out all your flaws about you. I'm telling you, that's why I don't do that to anyone else, because I've had it done to me. I know what it feels like. As if I don't know. Like I know the flaws that I have, right? But I'm not going to let that stuff get in the way of what of the message that I have to share with other people. For a long time, I let my insecurity and the way I felt about my body and my looks hold me back, right? There's somebody out there for everyone. There's somebody who needs to hear a message everywhere, right? So instead of letting my negative thinking and my negative inner dialogue with myself take me down, I started practicing the littlest things, you guys. Go into the mirror. I would get myself a lipstick tube. Okay, I don't know what it is. I gotta do it in the lipstick. I get me a red lipstick. Okay, and I would write on the mirror, "You are a beautifully, highly favored child of God." Do you know why I say that? Because my mom always tells me that all the time. I'll never forget my mom always telling me that when I was younger, and even now. But I remember going to bed and my mom would put her hands through my hair and I would lay with her and she would just tell me how beautiful I was, that God had a purpose for me. I remember coming to my mom's house after being up for days and days and days, and I would be very, very, very bad, you guys. I would be hallucinating and I would be afraid because I would think people were coming. And so I would lay down and my mom would brush my hair and let me lay with her until I stopped seeing people that weren't there, because that's what would happen. I would see people that weren't there because I would stay up for so many days. And so I can remember my mom just laying there with me. Can you imagine laying with your firstborn daughter and listening to her hallucinating and being afraid of something that wasn't there and not being able to do anything for her? You know, my mom would just have to sit there with me, you guys, until I would fall asleep from exhaustion from being up so many days. If you didn't have parents who built you up or gave you positive reinforcement or gave you compliments, we can't focus on what we didn't get from them. We have to start trying to make it for ourselves, though. Do you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of you guys who did not have good families, okay, who didn't have a good support network. And I'm telling you guys right now, that breaks my heart. That breaks my heart, because I look at my life and how supportive and loving my family was, and how I was such an asshole, and how I almost ruined everything in my life with my addiction. And I think, wow, thank God that my family still loves me and still wants to be around me, right? But for those of you who didn't have that support from your family and still don't have that love and support, you have to break the cycle, right? You have to break the cycle. It starts with you, you know? And that's why when I'm telling you guys, like, I want you guys to get into a group and find your people. I mean that. Like, find your people. Find some women and some other men who will tell you, like, we love you and we're going to love you until you can love yourself. You know, that's what it's about. Here on my channel, in this chat right now, you can come in here and we're going to love you until you can love yourself. You're never going to be alone. You're always going to be welcome. You know, as long as, I'm telling you guys, as long as you come in here and you want to be here and you need help, and you're not going to be ugly or disrespectful, you're not going to get no disrespect in this chat. Everybody here is here for the same reason, because we're all trying to support each other and love each other and help each other stay sober. You know, that's why if you didn't have that support when you were growing up, you have to learn how to build that support around yourself now. And I know it can be hard because for me, I already have like an idea of what healthy support network is, right? But a lot of you guys might not have that experience, right? My mama still is in addiction, so we understand her struggle and are trying to live in that truth. Oh, wow, Angel. I totally understand that too. It's fine. You tell the truth. You're strong. Hannah says, that's how my family was. Compliments? Yeah, right. And so, okay. So I know what can happen to us is we can hold that resentment in our heart, right? Because we feel slighted, right? Our family didn't do us right. They didn't treat us right. They weren't there for us when we needed them the most, right? But listen to me, you guys. Like, holding that resentment in your heart is not going to make them be there for you anymore, okay? And it's not going to make your situation any better. You guys know about resentments, right? Resentments keep us sick. There's a saying that they say, having resentments is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. You drank the poison. You're the one who's fixing to pass out. That's what it's like when you're carrying resentment in your heart, because it's poisoning you. That resentment you have for that other person, for your mom or dad or your aunt or uncle, brother or sister, whoever it is, that wasn't there for you, that hurt you, right? Those people are living their best life. And we're over here drinking the poison, drinking the Kool-Aid, wishing that they were dying, right? So here's what we have to do. We have to let it go. We have to let go of those resentments. I know it's hard. Listen to me. I know it's hard. Get with somebody that you trust, a sponsor, a mentor. Sit down and write down all the people you got resentments towards, okay? Write them down. Sit down and figure out, okay, I resent my mom because she wasn't there and abandoned me when I was younger, okay? I resent this person. And then I want you to do is I want you to pray for all those people. Pray for every one of them. Pray for them to have peace and happiness and love and everything that you want for yourself. You pray that for them. Okay? You do that for 2 weeks. And by the end of the second week, you are going to feel like that for them. Okay? It's going to help you because you're going to be practicing putting that positive love all out there, right? Because here's the thing, you guys. Carrying around those resentments, it's baggage that you, first of all, in early recovery, you don't need to be carrying around that baggage. Right now, we're trying to heal on the inside, right? The best thing we can do is let go of that stuff. Let it go. Let it go. I mean, there's so many little exercises you guys can do to help you let go of those things. So, first of all, we said gratitude. Have an attitude of gratitude, baby. And then the second thing I said was positive self-talk, positive affirmations, writing them down on the mirror. Okay? And the more you get your positive dialogue within you, within your head, okay, the more you're going to be able to practice it like on an everyday basis, right? The more you speak it to yourself, the more it's going to be, because you're going to be talking it to yourself up here, right? You don't have to say it out loud. You can just be walking around. Nicole, you're doing really good today. Girl, I like your makeup. Man, I'm looking fine today. Dude, my hair's straight today. I love my hair, right? Just little things like that, right? Instead of picking apart every single thing that you don't like about yourself. And then what you can do is you can focus on making adjustments and improving on things that you want to change, right? But there's no point in beating ourselves up and digging at ourselves and putting ourselves down. We can all focus on little goals each week that we can change that can equal up to one big goal. That's something that I'm telling you is helping me a lot, you guys. Because what will happen for me is I get very, very overwhelmed. I want to accomplish so many things at one time in one sitting, right? But for me, what will happen is I'll try to take on all this stuff and then I won't do it. Or I will fail at it. And or I'll get overwhelmed and just quit. So when I break them up into small little chores and I get one done at it helps me out so much. It really, really helps me a lot. Okay, the third thing that you can do that will help you to change the way you think. Okay, I want you to work on how you treat other people. All right, the littlest things. Okay, so let's say you're on a comment section on Facebook. All right, and somebody comments something, and they're like, "When are you gonna get sober? You've been addicted to drugs for 15 years now. Don't you want to get your life together?" All right? And your first response is to get defensive, and you're like, "Fuck that." You know, if we can start changing the way we react to negativity, it will help you on the inside in the long run. Okay? So a lot of times we want to react right away, and we want to shoot back some negative shit back to them. We want to tell them, "Shut the fuck up. I like doing what I'm doing. It feels good getting high," or whatever we want to say, right? Most of the time when somebody comes at you and they're commenting some negative shit or talking crazy to you or being hateful to you, it's because they are feeling that shit in the inside. And so a lot of the times what will happen is they're just bouncing what they feel inside of them onto you. So when somebody comes at you and they're being negative or they're being ugly to you, instead of retaliating and reacting, why don't you open up to them and tell them, say, "Listen, I love you no matter what you say, and I forgive you, and I'm going to be here for you if you need anything." I'm telling you guys, I know y'all are probably like, "Nicole, you're crazy. I'm going to cuss their asses out." I'm telling you, I used to do this stuff all the time. I still struggle from time to time with cussing folks out. And then I have to go back and make it right? But the way I respond and react to others is it's basically just exactly how I'm feeling on the inside. So today I was on the phone with one of my friends, and I got my feelings hurt. And I mean, I went off, you guys. I went off, and I was yelling and screaming like a banshee. And I know you guys know I'm super emotional, okay? I lead with my emotions. I lead with my heart. I wear my heart on my sleeve. And I was so mad because I had let all these things build up inside of me. And then I just let it all out, right? And so I at the end of the conversation, I had to apologize. And I told her, I was like, "I'm so sorry. I just let all these things build up and I just blew up, right? I just blew up. But it was not because of anything to do with her. It was because of all these things that were going on inside of me. It was because of things that I have been insecure about. It's about things that I felt left out of. It's about me and how I don't feel a part of. And that's me again trying to push myself into something, right? I get very hurt because sometimes I don't feel like I fit in. I feel like I'm always the outsider, right? And so I have really good friends in my life who have included me and who haven't treated me as an outsider. But those are the only people I have to bitch to about it. So what happens is when I finally blow up and it's like that volcano reaches and then I blow up. Those are the people that I blow up on. And it's because I was feeling bad inside of my heart. I was feeling insecure. I felt left out, and I took it out on my friend, and it just goes to show you, I have to work on that. I need to work. Why do I feel like I have to fit into this certain group of people? Why do I need their validation? Do you know what I'm saying, you guys? It's so hard. Hold on. Let me read. I was just seeing Amy said something. Okay. Nicole. Oh, Tara. "If it's the other way around, my sister holding on to resentment. She tells people her little amazing sister has changed, and that's that." Tara, so your sister is resenting you, huh? Oh, gosh. I know how that is, too. So listen to this. We cannot make our family members forgive us, right? We can't make them work the program. We can't make them see eye to eye with us a lot of time. So have you made amends with your sister yet? Have you went to her and sat with her and talked to her and showed her, "Hey, look, sis, I'm changing. I'm living my life right now, and I love you. Like for me, I had to go and I had to sit down with my baby sister, Christine, because my baby sister was so upset with me because I wasn't the big sister that I was supposed to be to her. And I sat down with my sister, even though she didn't say she wanted me to sit down with her, but I know my sister. And I told her how ashamed I felt and how sorry I was that I wasn't there for her and that I stole money from her and that I wasn't there to help her whenever she was going through changes in her life and whenever she needed support. Because my sister came out as a lesbian, I wasn't there for her when all that stuff happened. And I have a lot of guilt and shame in my heart because of that. And I felt like there was a wedge being driven in between us because I felt that resentment from her. And I know she felt the uneasy feelings from me because of all the shame and guilt I had for not being there for her. I think that sitting down with our family members, especially after you got about 6 months sober, so that way they know, okay, sis is serious. She's got 6 months sober. Here's the thing. I don't want any of you guys to run to your family at 15 days sober and tell them how much you've changed. Okay? Don't do it. I'm serious. Get yourself about 6 months sober, all right? And then sit down and let your family know, like, listen, I've been working really hard on changing my life. I hope, and just let them know, like, I want to be different. I want a new relationship with you. I want to make up for the things that happened in the past, and I'm going to live my amends. I'm going to show you through my actions that I'm changed, right? Okay. Hold on. I'm going to read y'all's comments some more. It seems so ironic that we addictive types are so self-critical, and yet we make all of our problems worse by using drugs. Yes, girl. Have seen it in friends, family, and myself, but don't really understand it. We are some of the most, first of all, most smart, very sensitive, like you said, very critical of ourselves. But here's the thing. When you're in active addiction, we might be able to see it now, right? Now we know that, whoa, I was hurting and harming myself in my active addiction. But it's like when you're right in the middle of your addiction, you guys, you're blinded. You're blinded by your substance, right? The substance that you're addicted to has control of everything. Like when I was in the middle of my addiction, if you had asked me when I was getting high 5 years ago, 6 years ago, if you had said, hey girl, are you having fun? I would have been like, hell yeah! I'm having a blast. I'm getting fucked up. Okay, that's how it was. I was constantly thinking I was having so much fun. But that was high Nicole. That was Nicole that was in the moment, zooted, right? Deep down on the inside, right? In the inner me. Obviously, I was not having a good time because that's not self-respect. That's not self-love. Jamming needles in your arms all day long. And
where's your computer?
Upstairs.
And where?
Under the bed with Daddy.
Okay.
A lot of the times what I think we do, you guys, is we think that, when we're in our active addiction, we are blinded. Okay? We are blinded by our addiction. And we think in our minds that everything's okay and that we're making it and we're making by. But I'm telling you, when you get on the other side of that addiction and you get a little bit of time sober, and then you realize how bad it really was and how horrible you were treating yourself. So let's think. We got gratitude. We got positive affirmations. We have, what else did I say? Lord help me, Jesus. God blessed. Okay, anyways, you guys know what I'm talking about. I have all these thoughts going through my mind that I want to tell you guys tonight, and I'm like trying to hone them all in. But changing the way you think is a process, okay? Focusing on your positive thinking, focusing on building yourself up, responding and reacting to others in a positive way. There we go. These three things and will help you. And there's so many other things you can do, right? I started waking up in the morning am putting on my makeup. You ladies, it might not seem like anything big, but when I wake up in the morning and I brush my hair and I put on a nice outfit or a nice clean shirt with a cute pair of capri pants because I'm a comfy girl, I don't like dressing up, and I put a little bit of makeup on, I feel better. I feel better about myself because I feel like I'm putting my first, my best self forward. You know what I'm saying? Because for so many years I would run around, you guys, just looking crazy. All right? I would just be looking so crazy. I would have my hair up looking all like a craziness like this, and then I'd have these black circles under my eyes, no makeup, up all my skin just like a skeleton. Y'all know how it was. And just dirty and track marks all over my arms. So I really try to put my best foot forward today. Yes, we stopped caring about our appearance. Yes, I have to make myself do that. Yes, especially when I first got sober, Angel, I had to get up and make myself do it because I had gotten so used to being just like letting myself not care that I had to start making myself care. And that really, really has helped me a lot too. I'm telling you guys, like, everything that has happened for me has happened over these 4 years, and it's taken every bit of 4 years for me to start getting to a point where I kind of feel okay with me, you know? And even today, I still struggle, and I still have times where I don't feel that great, or I feel embarrassed, or I might feel ashamed, or I have a lot of guilt, or I think about how I hurt my family. Hey, Jeff. And I beat myself up about it, and I think about it over and over and over again, right? But that's not serving me, okay? When I'm beating myself up and I'm going over these things in my mind, that how I hurt myself and how I hurt others, right? And I'm just keep on harming myself, that's not helping me, right? So I got to get out of that self-harm mindset. I have to get out of that beating myself down mindset. I have to get out of that negative mindset and start pulling myself out little by little and focusing on what I can change in my life for the good. How I can react and speak and talk to others in a positive way. It'll change your life forever. And you know what, you guys? What I'll start doing here on the community tab is what I'll try to do a couple times a week is I will post some inspirational quotes or some daily affirmations that you guys can go over that will help you every day. If you would like, I will post one in the Facebook group, and I will post one here on the community tab. And that way you guys can go to the Facebook group, or you can come here to the community tab and you can say, oh, there's the daily affirmation. So I'm going to read a meditation, and then we're going to go to bed, okay? Or I'm actually watching Stranger Things with my son, and I have news, you guys. I have a podcast episode coming up on the coolest podcast you guys have ever heard. So, have you guys ever heard of the Nod Squad? Krissy, do you know who? Okay, did you listen? The Nod Squad on Podbean. You guys have got to go subscribe to this dude's podcast. His name is Brian. He called me tonight. He's actually in treatment, okay? But it's like a long-term treatment, like 4 months, I think. Or he's been there for like 4 months. And what he does is he gets weekend passes. Well, he's coming out on a weekend pass this weekend, and we're going to do an episode for his podcast. I'm telling you guys. He is such a cool dude, and he's really wants to live his life sober, right? It's just good, you guys. What they do is he's had his other friend on. Oh, okay, Stranger Things. Well, I love that too. But the Nod Squad, go look him up on Podbean. But I'm going to do an episode with him. When I do the episode, I'll share it over here to the community tab so you guys can come and watch or come and listen to it. But he has a whole bunch of really cool episodes with people who have shared their stories. And if you guys are like me, like I love hearing other people share their stories. So a lot of the times I'll go over there and he'll have a new guest on. And hopefully, gosh, man, I got to get my head out of my own ass. But soon I'll be having people on all the time to tell their stories, you guys. I've just been dragging my ass. But eventually I'll have guests on and y'all will get to hear all kinds of different people's stories. Because I want to bring you guys people who have been alcoholics, people who have been, maybe they are recovering from an eating disorder or abuse or, addiction, anything. Like, if I want to be able to bring you so many different stories that will inspire you to make changes in your life. All right? Because that's what happened for me. I was inspired by hearing other people share their stories. Okay? And that's what we have to do. When you guys get yourselves together and you start getting back on the right track, then you know what you do? Then you start sharing your story to inspire someone else. Okay, you can start doing it right now. When you go into a meeting and you see somebody, say, hey, what's up? My name's Nicole. Can I give you my phone number? You can reach out to me. Like, really, you guys, you can do the littlest things and help the newcomer, help somebody who's still sick and struggling. Because all they need is just a little bit of hope. That's all you got to do. It's really the littlest things. You wouldn't even believe it. How it can change somebody's life forever. Okay, here we go. Trying to follow a suggestion I heard in Al-Anon meetings, I dutifully wrote lists of things for which I was grateful. Are y'all hearing this? I listed such things as my health, my job, my food, and my table. When I was finished, I didn't feel very grateful. My mind was still weighted down with the negative thinking that had resulted from living with alcoholism. But I had made a gesture and the seed of gratitude was planted. I gradually learned to appreciate the small accomplishments of my daily life. Perhaps I was able to avoid a pointless argument by reciting the Serenity Prayer, or my sharing helped a newcomer, or I finished something I had been neglecting. I was beginning to change. I made a point of recognizing small changes and my self-esteem grew. The daily application of Al-Anon principles helped me to deepen my sense of gratitude and replace those nagging negative thoughts. Eventually, I was able to go back to my original list and be truly grateful for those things I had taken for granted. Today's reminder: I need to nurture myself with gratitude. Today I can practice appreciating myself, my world, and my higher power. I would lie in bed at night and say the alphabet, counting all the things I had to be grateful for, starting with the letter A. This made a great change in my life. I did not plan that, but do you see what I'm saying? This meditation was about changing the way you think and being grateful. That is so cool. So, nurture yourself with gratitude, you guys, okay? Learn to accept the small accomplishments that you make each day. If you stayed sober today, guess what? That's an accomplishment. You should be proud of yourself, okay? Like, seriously. If you made it through tonight and you're still sober, hot diggity dog, okay? Like, for real, be proud of yourself. Stop beating yourself up, all right? I'm proud of you guys. I really appreciate all of you guys for coming out and hanging out with me tonight. I love, love, love being able to be here with you and share with you guys and talk with you guys. You guys help me stay sober. You guys help me stay positive, and you guys help me have gratitude. So, I love you guys. I'm grateful for y'all, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Good night.